sending this to YouTube. That's the goal. My goal in life is to send this to YouTube. YouTube seems to think that we are live. And if I understand correctly, like live. So, all right, here we go. Let's do this.
It certainly appears so, yes.
Well, then let's do this thing. That's the beauty of YouTube, is that it's just a surprise every time. Am I going to be in the little lobby thing, or am I immediately broadcasting everything that I do?
If it's a scheduled stream, you're in the little lobby thing and you have to click go live in YouTube. If you're just doing like a stream now thing, then you will immediately go live.
Well, one must assume that that's what I did, because we're live, so let's get digging. My name is Mike, and I am joined tonight by, let's start with Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric.
And
nice
also
to meet you
with us,
guys.
Yeah, also among us is Kurt.
Hi, I am not Eric. I just didn't meet everybody.
You fucking lucked out, bud.
I don't know about that.
Joe, what is your feeling about being probably not Eric?
I feel good about being definitely not Eric. No offense to Eric.
No, that's the problem feeling you should have.
Is that? Can any of us really be 100% sure that we're not Eric?
I mean, I awoke having dreamt I was Eric and pondered whether I was Eric dreaming he was Joe or Joe dreaming he was Eric.
All right, well, that's all nonsense. So why don't we just take a second here to appreciate the sick tunes that are happening in the background of this game.
I can't, or I'll get a wicked echo in the feed. But it's
know.
Jake Kaufman, so I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, it's so good. I just want to sit here and listen to them for a long period of time, which, as I'm sure you know, will have no consequences whatsoever on my character. In fact, it's such a great idea to just sit here and listen to this music that, oh no! It's a gigantic evil saw that's come to kill me. Some might call it a sort of spelunky ghost, as I've heard people refer to it.
I mean, look, man, the like hurry up and go like monster or motivator goes way further back than that.
Bubble, baby.
Before that, there was what was Evil Otto and Berserk.
Yeah, it's true.
The unkillable smiley face that would bounce onto the screen and harass you until you left. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not Evil Otto. It's
Bubble Bobble too. What was the thing? What's the thing's name in Bubble Bobble? It's got a funny name.
I don't know. It's that weird ghost whale thing.
Yeah. Someone wrote a whole entry about that for 31 Days of Horror Games back when we had a website.
What about a weird horseman shopkeeper?
Bubba. That's what it is. Baron von Bubba.
Baron von Bubba.
The ghost whale thing that chases him.
All right, well, he's not in this game. In this game is Shovel Knight Dig, which is they took the Shovel Knight and they made a roguelike out of it. And I'm a little conflicted on this game because it's really, really good. It's really very good, but there's also not a whole lot to it, unfortunately. In that
You're just mad you can't play as Plague Knight.
I am mad that you can't play as Plague Knight. That would rule. That would be amazing. I'm also a little bummed because I've played this game for 4 hours and I've already got a win, which is not usually how roguelikes go. Like, I don't know, I play a lot of roguelikes, but, you know, sometimes it takes 20, 30 hours to notch your first W, and this one did not put up much of a fight. I'm just afraid that there's maybe not enough areas to kind of sustain a long-term interest. But what's here is all really good. And you can probably see from the surface layer of things that this is more colorful than your classic 8-bit style Shovel Knight. In fact, this whole game, I want to say it has Genesis vibes because the music sounds vaguely Genesis-y, although it's not actually the Genesis sound chip, it is the PC-98 sound chip. I don't know if the graphics could actually...
very similar, though, right? They're probably the Yamaha series synth chip, probably.
They are definitely very similar, but they're not 100% the same. But the graphics in my mind are a little too colorful for a Genesis game. But, you know, it's roughly in that 16-bit vein. And I think this game looks and plays and particularly sounds amazing. This is one of the best soundtracks that I can remember Jake Kaufman creating. He's made some good soundtracks. The man who brought you Double Dragon Neon.
Yes, which is a great soundtrack. Also a great soundtrack.
Yes.
DuckTales Remastered.
Yeah, I mean, most of that was music that already existed, so...
But he made new arrangements of that music.
I'm getting owned by these platforms.
So Yes, I do like the 16-bitification of Shovel Knight. As with the original Shovel Knight, it is cheating a little bit. You can tell, like, the color depth is greater than a Super Nintendo or a Genesis, maybe a Neo Geo, you know.
The original Shovel Knight actually cheats very little. I don't know if you ever saw that they put an article out about what kind of compromises they did and didn't make for that game.
Yeah.
And in terms of color palette, the original Shovel Knight is almost Nintendo legal. I think the one color that is not is Shovel Knight's blue, because they didn't have the shade of blue they wanted, so they kind of invented one. And obviously it's widescreen and it has tons of sprites on screen at once without slowdown.
Right.
But in terms of the number of colors on screen, they were actually pretty careful not to cheat on that front. Hey, it turns out I'm bad at this game when I'm talking.
One of those. So how this is? I've seen people compare it to SteamWorld Dig, which this seems like it's a little more action-packed than SteamWorld.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a SteamWorld Dig like. So just for the record, I brought a key. I bought a key in town, and I just managed to bring it down to this horse guy's special door. And so now I'm going to get to unlock a brand new relic, which is the special sub-weapons in this game. I'm going to get to do like a Gustio Wand challenge and then unlock it. Unless I really screw this up.
Based on just what I saw and what I'm seeing you do so far, it kind of feels a little bit more like maybe Downwell meets Shovel Knight.
I was going to say, like, it feels like Mr. Driller, right?
Yeah, it does have those vibes for sure.
Because you got to move fast in this game, or else the saw will come.
Is there a timer or something that lets you know when that thing's coming?
There's like some kind of dust that starts to accumulate at the top of the screen.
Okay. So it's just always pursuing you, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And there are the occasional horizontal sections in this game, and it will pursue you horizontally in those. So I like these kind of creepy Nokia snake-looking monsters. So we've now unlocked the Gustio.
And die, or...
I have not ever made that happen. I think it just chomps through its own body. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, it was right there.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah.
So the way this game is set up is that you go through a stage and you arrive at the bottom, and typically you have a choice. For some reason here, I don't have a choice, so
you have to pick Mushroom 2.
Yeah,
pick Mushroom 2. That's right. This is the Mushroom Mines. I know, because that's the name of this track on the soundtrack, which I've listened to a whole bunch of times. It sounds so good. The music is so good in this game. Also, really fun fact, I decided to buy the soundtrack on Bandcamp, and it came with a file, and I'm like, what is this weird file? This weird file is basically the file he used in the tracking software to make the music, so like you can actually open it up in the tracker and mess around with it if you want to.
Huh.
So I have some wooden keys trailing behind me. If I can get to a door or a chest, it will unlock them. But because they're crappy wooden keys, they will break or burn if I get hit by spikes or fire. You can also find you can find metal keys that will not do that, and there are also glass keys that will shatter the second you take damage. So one of the things you're doing here we go. There's a door, and I get a little side area here because I have my keys still, and this is going to give me a health up, which is nice. So I find this game fairly challenging, despite the fact that I have complained already about it being too short and easy.
Yeah, you just said you got to clear in 4 hours.
I did get it clear in 4 hours because I got like a really good item that I've never seen since. That gave me basically double health, which was really nice. So this is the way things are supposed to go, is at the end of every stage, the drill pod comes down, and if you've collected the 3 golden gears, then you get to choose, am I going to get full health back, or am I going to get an upgrade? So I'm going to go for an upgrade this time, live a little dangerously. Got the dynamo gauntlets, so every time I do 3 shovel drops, I get a charge stack. It's kind of like one of the items from Shovel Knight.
So when you sing opera, you can shoot lightning at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Something very similar to that, yes. So yeah, I don't know how obvious it is to you, but this game is made with a really large amount of love. Like they've reinterpreted a lot of the characters from Shovel Knight in the sort of 16-bit art style, but they have so much charm, and actually there's a lot of different effects that like interplay when you're in the stages. We're gonna see if I can beat the first boss. You're gonna see like I get a choice between 2 areas to go to, and the 2 areas have completely different dynamics. And some of the interplays are like really cool and interesting, and it just makes me kind of sad that you don't need to spend that much time with them before you're kind of done. And so I'd love it if they made the game basically bigger. Like, I know it's a big ask because there's so much art, but if they could add new sections to the game, it would be really fun. This skeleton guy will teach me sword moves.
You mean shovel moves?
Shovel blade moves, sorry. Press down to float slowly to the ground. I'm not familiar with that one. We're going to buy this. Never tried this before. So that's the thing, is I finished the game, but there's tons of stuff I haven't unlocked. Like, they still have like 5 or 6 sub-weapons to unlock and a bunch of armor and things like that. So if I can self-motivate to play some more, there's still plenty to do.
Does it seem like maybe there's a like super secret way to play through the game, like Spelunky?
There actually is, it's so secret that I didn't even realize it was there to start with, but then I saw someone talking about it on a forum. In fact, this little owl
yeah, you
here
have to get the
is-
Wadjet eye, and then you have to find the secret shop in the second level, and then you have to kill the shopkeeper and take the Ankh into the Egyptian level, and then...
I mean, it really
Wait
is
a
a
minute.
long chain of things that you have to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil any of them, but it does have something to do with that little owl that we just ran into. Oh, I have a chest over here.
That's cool.
And so yeah, I am looking forward to trying to get like a full clear, basically. And I will say one thing about the full clear is that when you do it, you actually go through kind of all of the regions of the game, whereas in a regular game, you only do kind of half of them. So it does make for a longer play. And in my limited experience, it is pretty tough. Scary snakes. Alright. So I should probably take the full heal since we're pretty low on health here.
So this is actually a yacht club joint, correct?
No, it was
Yacht
developed
Club
by
did not develop it, yeah.
It was developed by Nitro, makers of such fine games as Bomb Chicken.
Which is definitely a game that I've heard of before and am familiar with.
I played
yes,
Bomb
same.
Chicken. I actually got that on my Switch a while back. It had really good pixel art like this. This is a Spore Knight, who's a new character for this game. There's a couple of new enemies and a couple of returning baddies, which if I make it far enough, you'll get to see. This is like, it's a pretty tough game. Like, death does come quickly for you sometimes. I've mitigated that a lot by unlocking the red armor, which as far as I can tell, the red armor is just way better than the default armor. It gives you basically double health compared to the regular armor, and when you die, you can choose one of your relics to carry over to your next life.
Could be nice. Yeah.
Could be a
So
big
obviously there is persistence here.
Yeah, there's some persistent development, but it's nothing like, you're not going in with like a longer health bar or anything. You're unlocking more items that show up in the mines, more different sub-weapons and things like that, and then the different armor sets. All right, so I guess, spoiler, I am actually currently on track to do a good run of the game. So do we want to go left where there seems to be flamethrowers, or right where there seems to be those blue floating heads from Zelda 2?
I mean, Shield Maiden is on the right, so shouldn't you go where she is, or she's just hanging out? She doesn't do
I
anything?
think she's just going to go whichever way I don't.
Oh, she goes to where you don't. Okay, sure. All right.
It doesn't actually matter which way I go right now. And in fact, they both go to the same zone. Typically, you actually get a choice between the red and the blue zones at this point, but maybe because I'm on a good path run, I don't get to choose. Anyway, I'm going to go this way. Yeah, flamethrower. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, the short version is this game is really good. Like, it's like you're going to see this whole new mechanics in this area with like explodey ground, and each of the different biomes has a bunch of different kind of possible configurations that the level can have that have like different special challenges, and some of them are pretty devious. So like here we get lots of these little flame generators and things. I kind of wanted to show off the water one because the water one has some really neat water mechanics, but for now we're just gonna spend some money at the gastro mole. Let's get a max health up.
What's the egg for?
So if I can get the egg to a nest, it will hatch into a little familiar. The familiars do not seem to be like super powerful in my experience, but you can have like 3 of them at once, which is sort of fun. But the eggs will break if I take damage, and I feel like most of the time I die, or the eggs die before I get to hatch them. One thing to note in this game is that anytime you jump, you instantly go into the down shovel pose, so you don't have to press down to do that. In fact, it can be a problem because sometimes you don't want to destroy the ground that you're going to land on, but the game will not give you a way to not do that.
So you can't even like hold up to opt out of it.
No, there's no opting out. You're poking. You're a poker.
Okay.
I don't want this $50 badly enough to mess with that thing. So you see, I seem to have lost my egg already.
Yeah.
Too
So
bad
do we know what yacht club themselves are working on right now, or is it
We
just a
do.
mystery?
It's was it Mina the Burrower? I think.
Oh,
is what
that's
it's
right.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mina the Borrower, I thought, or something. Well, whatever, whichever. Yeah. It's like an isometric Zelda thing with a mouse, right? That's
Yeah. Well, I thought she
Yeah.
was a burrower because she digs. Isn't that the whole
maybe.
thing?
Sure.
Ow.
That seems possible.
Oops. Ah.
Mina the Hollower.
Oh, the
Oh,
Hollower.
it's 'cause she's
It's neither of those things.
neither of those things. Yeah.
But it's like, what if Castlevania was an isometric Game Boy Advance game?
Yeah, starring
here you
the
go, you got-
mouse from The Secret of Nim, basically.
Yeah, right.
There you go. You got to see the bouncy Zelda 2 birds.
Yeah. Can you kill them, or like
You can.
like Zelda 2, or okay. That was a
Kill
lot
them in
easier
Zelda
than
2.
killing the skull. The skull. Yeah, you can, but it's a chore, especially this early in Zelda 2. Killing those skulls, you feel
Yeah.
like you can't.
Because of the time
Basically.
pressure with the giant drill that's trying to kill you, I think it would be very mean if they took that many hits to kill.
Oh, because the door closes. Okay, got it. That would.
So another thing is that if you played Shovel Knight, the way the dig works in this game is kind of like the gauntlets in Shovel Knight, where if you're digging horizontally, you won't fall,
Oh, nice.
which is cool because I mean the whole game. Oh, this ground just kind of disintegrates. Okay. So you see, I have to go over here and then dig down a little bit. Let this guy tunnel out for me, and then go check out the shop over here. All right, so the owl is once again trying to indicate that we need to do something here. We need to take care of this enemy
It's not what it
first.
seems.
Well, yes, because it's an owl. I get it. I'm a little low on health, so I don't know how far this particular run's going to get. Oh,
A minute ago, you were like, I'm on a good run.
well, no, I'm on. What I mean is I'm on the run towards the good ending,
Ah,
which I have not gotten so far. So it is actually less likely that I will finish a good ending run because it's longer. All right, so I happen to know that one of these items is the one that we need to buy. So I'm going to buy 2 items, and then you can try and determine using your sleuthing sense whether I bought the correct one or not. If only there was some clue to let us know whether we'd done the right thing. Anyway, so overall, I think this is really cool and fun to play. And my only complaint really is I wish there was more of it. So if you don't mind splashing,
It's fine.
How would you rate it against Shovel Knight original flavor?
well, I mean, it's different. So I died. So Shovel Knight Original Flavor is obviously a cool game, but also there are some things about it that annoy me. I feel like it's just too they pack too much stuff into Shovel Knight, and like every level has about 18 different secret branching paths, most of which don't really matter, and they put in the Dark Souls when you die you lose your money thing, which doesn't make any sense in a linear platformer. I find like it's just punitive with kind of no benefit.
Yeah, I really did not like that mechanic in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't love it either.
So there are times when I really wish the original Shovel Knight was more streamlined. So this kind of does that by just pushing you forward all the time. Like, and there are side paths, but it's much like Downwell. You want that money so you can buy more stuff. So I don't know, something like it sounds petty, but like in Shovel Knight when you have to dig a treasure pile 10 times and then go chasing after all the gems, a lot of the time I'm just like, why? Why can't you just give me those gems? You know, why can't I just press the button once, which eventually you can, but. And in this game, I don't mind that part as much because you're working against the clock, so I'm always leaving behind small amounts of gems. So it's kind of nice for forcing you to not be like a total completionist, because if you are, a giant saw's going to come and kill you.
Right.
Here's the armor. He's got a bunch of stuff, but not much that's exciting. I have to find these blueprints if I wanted to build me the other armors. So for now, we're just gonna stick with what we got. We'll buy another one of these fancy keys and see if we can unlock another relic on this run. Anyway, so it's a totally different experience, right? I feel like it's more streamlined, and it is harder. And there's lots of like interlocking mechanics that, again, I just kind of wish had more of a reason to go back and revisit. So I don't know. It's a different genre. I'm not entirely sure how you compare a straight platformer with a roguelike.
I mean, it's a roguelike, but still also, you know, an action platformer. So they could have like mechanically gone off the fucking rails in a way that you know.
Yeah, they
I really think they did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They could have made Crypt of the Necrodancer, but with Shovel Knight.
Uh-oh, here comes the saw. So the saw's still after me, but I think it will swoop in from the right side because I came in from the left. But it's not completely out of the picture now that I've moved down a little bit. So like, I think I still need to keep moving kind of fast if I don't want it to pay me a visit. By the way, those touch fuzzy looking guys are absolutely fuzzies in the Yoshi's Island
They mess
section
up
of the world.
your, they flip your.
You get dizzy if you touch one.
Well, actually, what they do is they make you small, and there are some
That's real.
passageways you can only go in if you're small. A la new Super Mario Bros, I guess. Anyway, so I'm just gonna play some more of this. Ask questions if you have any. Otherwise, talk about whatever you want.
Well,
Hamburgers or flies? I'm going flies. The flies are surprisingly annoying because you bounce on them, which means you're not moving down. And there's just a lot of them.
But
Goddamn,
better
so
than
much
hamburgers?
I would say, why would you go there instead of for hamburgers?
Because the hamburgers are lava lotuses, and I get enough of that when I play Kaizo. I do have to say that the soundtrack is so good. You should really take some time out of your day and listen to the stage themes. The fact that this first track is so strong makes it really easy to want to go back in and play another run after you die. It's actually a very good way to incentivize you to stick with the game if you're finding it hard. I will say that aside from this one armor set, I have not found a lot of stuff so far to make the game much easier.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if there's like roguelite stuff in here. Or...
Well, there are shortcuts you can open. So if I wanted to, I could skip straight to a later biome. Which, you know, I think that has all the same problems that you have in Spelunky, where you're not really prepared for them, but it's kind of a good way to learn the ins and outs of their traps.
Yeah.
Because I really brute forced it on my first time through the game when I just had tons of health and I could just make tons of mistakes. What do we got? We got Happy Horseshoe or Fast Saw. I think I want... Well, maybe it means less saw? I think sometimes the saw will spawn earlier or later, depending on what you choose.
So if you don't have the 3 gears, what happens?
So that gives you a bonus, basically. You don't really need the 3 gears all the time, but when you have them, you get to have a health refill. I'm dying here. Keep... Oh no, I'm small. It's not the end of the world, but it does reduce your tab power and it slows your digging down a bit, which is not always great. So yeah, you don't need the gears to progress, but they give you health refills or items. So it's kind of like if you're not getting gears, you're probably not being strong.
Yeah.
You must be strong.
What happens if you only get 1 or 2?
You get some money and you might get a little bit of health back.
Okay.
This is a bad situation that I'm in right now. Oh no, I need to go over there. I can't. Because I keep missing these side passages, which is the only chance I have to regain any health until the end of the level.
Yeah.
Oh, bombs. That was a dirty trick game. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely recommend if you think this looks fun. It's super fun. Like, all right, so we got all 3, so I can get my health refilled just in time. Just in time for the boss. if you don't mind the fact that you'll potentially, finish your first clear in less than 5 hours, there's not really anything that's bad about it aside from that.
I mean, that's fine.
That would not bother me at all.
As long as you can play it more.
Yeah.
So the thing with
Yeah.
a roguelike is...
Yeah, if there's substantially no difference playing it again after that would.
There is a difference because there are different paths. Like, there's one of the regions I've never finished. Like, I've never even fought one of the bosses in this game because I've never gotten to the end of that area. This is a weird arena for this fight. I don't think I've ever fought this fight in this arena before, and I'm getting owned.
Seems like it's hard to get to him.
I'm also trying not to lose my expensive key. Those yellow keys you have to pay for, and if you lose them, they're gone, and you don't get your unlock. So you're kind of gambling. Alright, he's at 1 hit. I am real close to dead, though. Not my best showing. I do like the way the level crumbles at the end of the boss fight. Very satisfying.
It all looks real good.
Endless sprites being destroyed.
Animations and effects and all that stuff are delightful.
All right, we're going to the water zone. We have to choose fish or water bubbles. Either way, one hit. And
Water
dead.
bubbles, you have to get the bubbles to stay alive.
No. You're not underwater. The bubbles contain water.
I see.
Oh, thank God. Gastromo.
The secret fountain.
All right. Well, I can refill a bit of health here. This doesn't cost much. I kind of wanted to add to my max health, but I guess that's not an option now. So every time I take a hit, I drop one of my keys, and I can pick it up again if I'm not falling down at the time that it happens. So you see there, I just took a hit, so one of my keys fell down, and I was able to grab it again. These crabs are kind of clever. Extendo arms. And I gotta keep the key until I get to the end of one of these sections, at which point there's always a chance that I'll have a door open. So watch this. When I break this block, the water's gonna start flowing, and the water pushes you, and it has certain effects on some enemies. And it'll flow down and, like, off ledges and things. So it's a really cool system. I like these crabs. I should be using one of these crabs to bounce up here and get this money. Let's see if I can bait this
I was
guy
waiting
in.
for you to do that.
It's hard. See, this is what happens. This is what you get, Kurt.
I wasn't
get pinched.
complaining. I assumed you would do it.
Well,
Just get the chest and get out of there.
Yeah.
what do we got here?
Doing.
Resist
like, "Nah,
fire
fuck that money."
damage. Magnetized. I don't want any of this stuff. That's for nothing, Chester.
Hey, look, this is all garbage.
What is this? What is this one? I don't even remember what this item does. Oh, that's like the that's the teleportation locket. This one's kind of fun. This is a little intense.
Is it like the
Basically turn
Splunky
fence.
teleporter where you just end up in the middle of the level and die?
I don't know. It turns you phantasmal, and then you press a button to turn back
okay.
into regular Shovel Knight.
Yeah. You have a little more control over it then. In Spelunky, you just blink into like a certain number of blocks away.
And then you die.
And then a lot of times, yeah, you can teleport into the walls and stuff and just die instantly. But it's also the only item that gets you the really good speed run times, so you have to learn how to use it.
I don't think I'm going to get another health.
Not getting hit.
Not recently.
Well, in relation to
Do I want any of these abilities? I don't like the super shovel drop. It messes me up. The whip slash.
Ew.
Okay. This is the first time I've gotten this. You have to unlock new shovel techniques by completing some challenges.
Replace your dig slash.
All right. So presumably that just gives me more range.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh, you stupid crabs!
You got the Castlevania whip upgrade.
I want the fire whip. So whenever you see these little bolts on the ground, you want to hit them. It opens up alternate paths that usually have treasure and sometimes give you access to like the golden gears. I don't like this.
Oh,
You're in a lot of trouble, bud.
Not anymore.
Okay. You get a full health upgrade?
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're doing
no.
fine. So you can see that like 90% of the money that I'm making is being banked when my run ends. And in fact, you don't have to go back to the camp. You can just push a button and start digging again with the same loadout. And I can show off a little bit the stuff that you can buy up here. There's Chester is up here also, and he just sells upgrades. And once you buy them, then they appear in the rotation for the game. Like Scoot Boots, run faster. Or Book of Bomb, defeated foes sometimes drop a bomb. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it sure does.
I don't think I want to buy that one. You can talk with the people sitting around the campfire. I got to the end of the well once, and there were 2 paths, but one was blocked. Why couldn't those hexcavators open them both? Those are the bad guys, the hexcavators. You can buy your... Oh, let's go to the grub pit. Oh, I won't have enough money to buy a ticket. You unlock the secret passage, then you have to pay to use it.
Lair of the Hive Knight.
Yeah, so that's the one boss I haven't seen yet that I'm aware
Is
of.
that a permanent unlock of that? Or is it you buy it, then you pay, and then you gotta buy it again?
You pay a lot to unlock the ability to buy the shortcut. If that makes any sense to you.
It does.
The first time is expensive, and then after that you have to buy tickets if you want to use it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're trying to crush me. I'm not going to fall for it. So I am debatably playing on easy mode because I'm using this armor that basically does half damage. The game feels pretty well balanced for it, though, in my opinion.
I mean, is there an alternate armor you can get or something? Or...
Oh, there's lots of armors. It's just that the only other one I have right now I don't like at all.
Is it just the standard Shovel Knight armor?
No, you start with that one, but I've unlocked an armor that gives you, you do more damage, but only until you take a hit. And once you take a hit, your max health drops until the end of the level. So it's kind of weird. Like, you're strong for the... Yeah, that's kind of been my experience with it. Yes, bad.
You just don't get hit.
You can see how that's going.
So saith the philosopher Rio. Just don't do that.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
Bonk, 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 bonk. So yeah, you do have to get to know like the different moves you have. You know, you'll see a gear and you'll be like, okay, I have to get over there, but I can only move in these couple different ways. Oh, here's a patch of magic dirt. When you dig the magic dirt, it fills up with gems. All right, we got pretty good health, so we're gonna get an upgrade. Knock your enemies further. There's one that I really like, which makes your attack go farther, like longer range. It's basically the long nail. I don't see how I would not want to pick the one with all the gems, right?
I just started playing that again.
Hollow Knight?
Getting hyped up for
Playing some of my Steam Deck.
Nice. It's probably a pretty good Steam Deck game.
It's a very good Steam Deck game. Runs great, looks great. Still a very good game,
great.
as it turns out. Yeah.
When is Silk Song? Is that this month or next month already?
Oh my god, don't even say things like that out loud, Joe.
I don't think they've actually
There
said
is
what
no
the date
date.
is. It was
All
in
they did
that
was say that it's coming to
Microsoft
PlayStation.
thing. Yeah, it was in that
that meant
Microsoft
within the year, right?
No,
Yeah,
within
that
12
seemed
months.
to indicate that it
Yeah,
would be
within a
before
year.
next summer or whatever. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
it's not worth thinking about until it actually comes out. Although it was 5 years ago at this point.
Aimed to be released
As
before
is,
12 June 2023.
Which means that they had their presentation on the 12th of June, and they said the games were
Yep.
coming in the next year.
Yep.
Yeah. So did you guys see the little tweet that was making the rounds today about games that have been announced and not released? A game that has been announced.
Oh, hey, look, there's a little tiny passage here.
What was
darn
it?
missed it.
Beyond Good and Evil
So
2.
Beyond
Yeah.
Good and Evil 2 has now been vaporware for longer than Duke Nukem Forever was vaporware.
Yeah, but
quite
people
a-
were actually working on Duke Nukem Forever for long stretches of that, right? That's the difference. Is it like Beyond
That-
Good and Evil 2? It was like a trailer, and that's it. Like it's never actually existed in any real capacity. So I don't think those two things are equivalent. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Duke Nukem Forever thing is still like just totally weird, right? Because whichever one of the guys from 3D Realms was, I can't remember his name, but he was so obsessed with making sure it was on like the latest engine, the latest and greatest tech, that it just kept like they kept rebuilding it from scratch on a new engine. Like,
right, that's what I mean. Is like there were actual humans building that game for most of
over
that
and over
time.
again.
Right,
It was
whereas-
Sisyphean.
Right, like I said, Beyond Good and Evil 2 never actually existed. It
I
was
mean,
just, like,
if you're
an
look, man,
announcement trailer.
if you're just talking about the game we actually got that was called Duke Nukem Forever, then I would say no. There probably weren't people working on it for most of that game's life. There were people working on a game that was Duke Nukem Forever, but it wasn't that one.
I just don't think they had any good ideas for making a video game, and also they made a game that, like, was 15 years past its due date. Like,
They had a great idea. Their idea was No Man's Sky. The kind of like final design doc that they talked about for that game was ridiculously what's the word I'm looking for? Big.
Ambitious.
Ambitious, thank you.
Oh, wait, sorry.
All right.
Are we talking about Duke Nukem Forever? Or are we talking about Beyond Good and Evil 2 at this point?
I was talking about Beyond Good and Evil.
Okay.
yeah,
Over Stuff and Muffin.
I don't
I
know.
just want you to know. I'm
Tonight,
buying
even
Over
like
Stuff and Muffin.
even the
Dirty.
trailer that we eventually got, the most recent trailer from like 5 or 7 years ago or whenever that was,
The one
didn't
with
even really
Paige.
seem the one with the pig, you know,
Yeah,
the pig
Paige.
and the monkey and the whatever. That didn't even seem to really have that much to do with the original Beyond Good and Evil. Like I was,
It was just a CG trailer. It's nothing.
It was
Yeah.
beyond those
Never-
things, Joe.
Michelle Ancel has left Ubisoft, so
well, I mean, has he really?
Yeah.
I thought you're right. I was gonna say because wasn't it a big passion project for Michel Ancel? That
it was.
the whole thing.
That's part of what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. No, it makes sense. I didn't realize he had
Now he
left.
has no passion left.
So did he like start his own thing, or is he just like living off all the fucking money he made for Ubisoft, or what's he up to these days?
Couldn't tell you.
I have no idea what
Who knows?
he's been doing, but Ubisoft apparently said when he left that he hasn't been directly involved in Beyond Good and Evil 2 for some time. Of course, that
Which is
could
why
be-
they stopped working.
if
on it.
if it's if Eric's assertion is correct, that is still a correct statement.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't exist, and thus he was not working on it.
Right. Also, the news. There was new. Maybe it wasn't news today, but I saw it today.
His game was that game called Wild, right? That was the game that him and his team were working on, and that was announced like 7 or 8 years ago too. I'm pretty sure.
I have no memory of what you were talking about, honestly.
That was the thing that he was supposed to be making.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said that, but what was there, like a trailer at E3 or something that I would remember? What
Yeah. It was like there's like a girl and she like turned into a bird or something.
That kind of rings a bell.
Does ring a bell.
Yeah, that's. But the other thing that I heard today, which again is not good news from today, but I saw it today.
He is apparently in September 2020 he retired from the game industry.
So Beyond Good and Evil 2 is never coming out, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently.
Man, I could have told you that. Shit.
Supposedly he was like one of the problems at Ubisoft.
Oh, he was one of the problems. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that
There's
makes
no
sense. I
shortage of
guess
them.
he was at the top. Yeah, well, that too, but the shit rolls downhill. So he was kind of at the top. So if there were problems, he was either complicit or, you know. an active
There
part
were
of it.
a lot of problems at Ubisoft.
That's true. That's true. There probably still are in some meaning of the word or another.
Yeah.
But speaking of developers with problems, apparently, if you have not played Overwatch, I guess, and you're a new player for Overwatch 2, you don't get all of the heroes. You have to unlock even the free heroes by playing the game. You don't just get like access to all the included heroes.
Yeah, I mean they've announced all that stuff a long time ago, I think.
Okay. See, I didn't see anything about that until. I mean, I knew, like, obviously, I knew it was free to play. I knew that.
I mean, they're just
Yes, you have to
fully
buy.
adopting the Fortnite / Apex / whatever model where the game is free and there's
Excuse
a battle
me.
pass.
Excuse me, League of
Yeah.
Legends and Dota. Thank you.
Well, right. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
I,
but those aren't shooters, so
Yeah.
like whatever.
right. Yeah, no, I mean, I knew that, right? I know it's free to play. I know that I have to pay for the characters that aren't included, but it feels
Well, all
weird
the
to me
characters
that,
from the original game are free to play, right? It's just the new
I,
characters.
yeah, that sounds right. I'm not sure of exactly which ones are which, but apparently, if you're a brand new Overwatch 2 player, as in never played Overwatch 1, you won't even have all of them to begin with. You have to play the game
I
to
don't know.
unlock them, which doesn't. I mean, I don't know who are the starter characters, and obviously that's not going to affect me if I play it, but because I played a shitload of Overwatch 1. But that's just doesn't. I mean, if you're trying to bring new players in, that feels like a weird way to.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
no.
does it-
Like
does
part
it-
of the there's
Is it
two
just
reasons-
more overwhelming to have like 40 fucking
Right. That's what I was gonna say. There's two sides to this. Like one is it sucks that you have to spend time to unlock characters, but also in a game that already has like 30 characters in it, like, do you really need to have access to all of the characters right off the bat? And is that a good idea to give like new players access to really complicated characters where they're just gonna like submarine their team's chance of winning because they don't know what the fuck they're doing? So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the thing that really bothers me, honestly, is that like Overwatch 1 apparently is just like disappearing into the ether. Like
Yeah, that sucks.
next week or whatever, this weekend or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
kind of makes me feel like I should play a little bit of Overwatch 1 before it
Yeah.
evaporates. Like, even
I
though
don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that
Years.
you can't just boot it up and play it.
Right.
It's kind of weird. But I mean, you do get to keep all of the stuff, right, that you had
Yeah, all
in the
my
original game, so it's not like
your
you're losing anything.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
What sucks
uh,
as far as I'm concerned is Blizzard. I haven't wanted to play Overwatch for so long just because I
Yeah.
don't like that studio
Yeah.
anymore.
Mike's
Fair.
right. I was
Yeah,
like
I mean,
waiting for Joe to burn out so I could say that.
Good luck.
It's true.
Yeah, so
Oh.
apparently you have to play 100 matches to unlock all the original characters, which isn't that big of an ask. And then, yeah, I think the new characters are gonna be like part of the battle pass. Or whatever,
part of
which
it, yeah,
is
it's
pretty
pretty cool.
standard. Like in Apex, you have to have 12,000 in-game the currency you earn from playing matches in order to unlock characters. And I have played like 300 hours or 400 hours of that game, and I have unlocked all but 2 characters. So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like.
But it's your
Or you can
choice,
just pay
right? You're
like
not.
you can pay
are they all the
$10
same?
to get them instantly. And no, Apex is like Overwatch, and all the characters have different skill sets. And
No, I meant is the cost the same?
yeah, the cost is the same.
So you can decide. I want to
Yeah.
spend my whatever 1,000 points on
Yes.
this one versus that one. Not
Yeah.
well. This one is 1,000, so I unlock that first, and then this one is
Right.
3,000.
Yeah, dude, that's how like League of Legends and Dota work. Or no, one of those two, the characters are all free, and then it's just the skins. I'm not sure. I think it's Dota. The characters are all free, and you just pay for skins and stuff.
I think so. League
I
of Legends
believe
was
that
like the one the
at least
Pokemon.
Previously,
basis.
when I've looked at that stuff, which is a long time ago, that was the way it
I
worked.
forget.
I'm pretty
I
sure
used
it's
to play League of Legends. I
In League of
don't
Legends, the
remember
way it used to work is you had a rotating cast of characters
Yeah.
and a
That's how
certain
it
num-
is.
a
That
certain
way,
set
yeah.
for free to play for however the fuck long. You
Yeah.
know, a month
I
or
don't know.
whatever. And you could buy characters or unlock them, and then you could use
Yeah.
those as well. But if you never wanted to pay anything, then you
That
always
was how
had character
the-
queue, but they rotated.
That was how Heroes of the Storm, the Blizzard
Yeah.
MOBA, was also that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so tired of having these discussions. It's just all you can do is look at what's actually in the game for what you paid for it, and then like
Right.
all these like hypothetical how much it would cost to buy all of this stuff or get, you know what I mean? I just don't.
Yeah, it's just what's the value proposition of what's there.
If you look at it and
If
go
you're cool
like,
with it, then
this
fine.
this doesn't make any sense to me, then go fucking play something else. There's so
Yeah.
many goddamn good video
Yeah.
games. It's just not like I don't know.
Huh.
I don't
Like
care.
Grounded, out
that
today
much.
on Xbox Game Pass. I'm kind of interested in that one. Well, it's a survival game. Is it made by Bethesda? Is that It's
Is that the one where you're small?
yeah, it's the Honey I Shrunk the not the Fortnite, the Minecraft. The drills
What's
hurt.
the
Ow.
difference?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably play some Overwatch too. I played a little beta. It was fine. But
It was made
I've
by
also been-
Obsidian.
I've also
thinking
been
about-
Obsidian.
Yes,
There,
that's it.
there was a tweet that was doing the rounds today that was like, wait, let me find it. At Mercury CDX, just to give credit, I have no idea who this person is, but I like how Overwatch went from being this really neat new FPS
I
game from
did
beloved
see that.
video game developer Blizzard to a miserable shit show of bad decisions from a vile video game developer Blizzard.
Yeah,
And it's
I
like,
thought that was pretty good.
yeah, it's really just funny how it's like, what was that, 2016? It's like, what's
That was a long time ago.
And it's also entirely possible that a year from now it'll be like Blizzard has been completely absorbed into Microsoft and
Oh,
people
totally.
love Overwatch again or whatever. Like, that's not out of the question.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think it's just done because like remember how fucking crazy everybody was for Overwatch when it first came out?
Yes.
Everybody wanted to fuck everybody in that game. Everyone.
That's
Everybody there was it was-
whether you liked Overwatch or not, Overwatch was the game of
Definitely wanted to
2016.
fuck everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It was just fucking everywhere. Everybody like was nuts for that shit, and they burned through all of that. They were like, "We're gonna turn this into esports," and people that turned people off. And then they were,
it's
then
the-
Blizzard happened, and now everybody's like, "I don't know, man, fucking whatever." Like,
The way they balanced
remember-
it, the way they tried to balance it for the esport that nobody cared about was really the thing that hurt it the
Well,
most.
Wrecked
You
it,
remember,
yeah.
like a trailer would drop, they'd be like, "Hey, new character announced," like fucking.
Well, it almost
Monster.
became like the TF2
Yeah.
videos when they would show
Oh,
up. You're like,
sure.
oh shit,
I can't
like
wait to
Smash
watch
there's
Bros.
there's a May video. Go watch
Yep.
it.
Stop
Yeah,
what
or
you're
like
doing. There's a new Overwatch.
As the
Lord,
person who played the most Overwatch in this group, probably more than all of you combined,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I never that stuff was never that. But also, like they haven't,
I agree
they
with
haven't
that,
released,
But,
they haven't
but
released
the
new
internet as a whole
characters.
thought of it that way.
Yeah, they haven't released new characters in several years at this point.
Yeah.
Several years.
Like I said, it's like that game has part of the reason why people stop talking about that game is because they really haven't done anything to it, and like
They just
All
keep
the
saving all their
guys-
ideas for the sequel.
Aside
The
from,
guy
Yes.
left, right?
aside
a while,
from
like a few
cleaning
months
up
ago.
problems.
Yeah.
A lot of people left.
But
yeah,
like,
for good and bad reasons. Yeah.
Right,
The,
yeah.
the main guy, Jeff Kaplan, he left
Jeff
a long time
Kaplan,
ago, and
yeah.
he was not one of the people implicated in all the troubles at Blizzard.
Everybody
Um,
loves Jeff Kaplan.
Yeah, it seems like people generally liked him quite a bit.
all my homies love Jeff Kaplan.
Yeah, like
trying
but there was definitely even before the purge of the bad people at Blizzard, there was a lot of like the main guy, Ben Brode, the guy that was the leader of the Hearthstone team. He left like a year or two before Kaplan. Like Blizzard's been bleeding talent for a long time, and then once all those people left, like there was no direction for the game, and also it seemed like, in particular, like Bobby Kodak's vision for what he wanted Overwatch to be, like really like killed a lot of the enthusiasm for the people working on it. But like I said, that doesn't mean that there's still like millions of people that play Overwatch. So I don't know.
It struck me
The thing,
like,
the thing that I'm really most interested in Overwatch 2 is that the PvE stuff was the thing that they were like really pushing was going to be like the new thing. And it
What's
seems
that?
like they never really figured that out.
It's that
supposedly
pouch.
they're still doing that, right?
Okay.
But who knows?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
they had to update what the multiplayer was because they just haven't in so long. But
That's a trap.
Well, didn't like the big
some
like
is pretty cool, and I don't
the
know,
big
whatever.
like launch date trailer, didn't that have a thing of like in
Yeah.
terms of the PvE stuff like Junkenstein's Revenge again or whatever, Bride of
Yeah.
Junkenstein or whatever the fuck, which was
Yeah, they need to be way more fleshed out than what that was for
Yeah,
PvE
yes.
stuff to work. But I mean, as a Halloween event, you play a couple hours, those are pretty good. But they're not really the basis for a full-on thing. I don't know. Like I said, I'll probably play it and check it out once in a while. And
I mean, it's free, so I'll at least give it a couple rounds. Whether I go in for the battle pass or not, like, we'll see. You know, how much I enjoy playing it. You know.
It's just like the whole thing that really struck me was just like we were talking about how like the new characters would drop and everybody go fucking nuts and shit. It was like a new Smash Brothers announcement, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and so the other, like what, like a week or two ago, they announced the like, what if Genji was a healer character? I think their name's like Kiriko or something. And you could hear a pin drop on the internet. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, new Overwatch character.
Yeah, but that doesn't like.
I know, it's just how things have changed.
You have to be
that's all.
you have to be really careful judging things that way. Also, because like
I mean, it's
stuff
not
is
out yet.
happening
It's
all the
playable,
time
right?
in Dota and League of Legends and a lot of other games, and you don't ever hear about it because the people that play those games are the ones that talk about it, and everybody else has moved on.
But it was what I was saying earlier.
Those
which
games
was
are
like,
still hugely popular and successful, right? Like, when's the last time you heard anybody talk about PUBG? But there's still like 10 million Chinese people playing it right now, and it gets updated constantly.
But it's
But
just
there's
what
a
we
lot
were
of
saying
games like
earlier,
that.
though, which is that like how it
The
used to
zeitgeist
be
moves
like,
on, man.
I know.
That's how it goes.
It's just
Now all people want to talk about is Trombone Champ, and that's fine.
That's actually fucking excellent.
Did you see, like, that game had like a minute, like a couple, like last week when it came out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was blown away because, like, remember we like went back and we watched the trailer for that again. Like
Not
back
too
in the
long ago.
spring, we were just
Yeah, I was
talking
gonna
about
say,
it.
a few
And
months ago,
and there
we
was
were-
like 10,000 views on the trailer or something.
Was it
Like
that
still
small?
nobody was watching it, nobody cared, and then it came out, and then it like got its minute in the sun. I was really happy about that because
Yeah, me too.
that trailer brought me a lot of joy.
Yep.
Miracles do happen. It's rare, but
Something, yeah.
every once
mean,
in a while
also-
there is justice in the world.
Someone got a fleshlight and a dildo to play it. You know? So that's,
Yeah.
The fucking existence of that song has like broken me.
yeah. See, and you didn't even when
I didn't
when
even
that
know.
came out, you didn't even know.
Yeah, I got trombone champ to thank for that in a very roundabout way. But it does fit. Like that's the kind of thing that like it fits with fucking trombone champ. You know what I mean? It shouldn't
Oh, yeah.
necessarily be in the game, but it's like
it's
that
not.
It's the same level of stupid.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I've. There's been like I feel like I think maybe I've said this on stream before. I don't remember. Like at the beginning of this year, I feel like I at least was kind of like there's not like a lot happening this year. I feel like this is kind of like going to be a tepid year. There's just not a lot of stuff I'm excited about. And then all of a sudden, in the back half of the year, it's been like there's just been a bunch of shit. And there's shit that I still haven't even played yet. I haven't played Trombone Champ. I haven't played Neon White still.
That came out 3 months ago. at this point.
Yeah.
Really that long? Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's all right.
July-ish, right? I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people were really into that for like a hot minute.
It's
But,
pretty good.
yeah.
I mean, also, it still is. It's just like the stuff that gets a lot of news. There hasn't been a lot of that this year. There's been a lot of big games. It's
Yeah.
been like I've been playing Citizen Sleeper and thinking that like probably as of right now my top 5 games is like 4 adventure games with a lot of text and Elden Ring.
Hell yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like Citizen Sleeper and Norco and Strange Horticulture and
Oh
Elden
yeah, that was
Ring.
good. I
Yeah.
played that like the first week of January, so I kind of
Yeah,
forgot
it came
about
out super early in the year, and maybe Vampire Survivors. I don't know. It's been very strange. It's been one of those years where there's not a lot of big stuff, but
Anybody listening to this, buy Vampire Survivors now because the price has gone up to $5.
They already
whoa,
did.
shit,
Yeah, $5 whole
breaking the
dollars.
bank.
Yeah, if you don't
Pretty
grab
sure
it
it
soon.
did. I'm double checking.
Oh, did it already? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's about to leave early access finally. So.
All right, we're taking a shortcut. I'm gonna end the stream soon. We're taking a shortcut.
Okay.
Like
well.
rub pit.
Anyway,
Seriously?
like I said, I wanted to talk about Citizen Sleeper, which is great.
Oh yeah. That's the new one from the Telling Lies guy, right?
No,
No,
No.
that's isolation.
that's a totally different
Can I
thing.
just briefly
That's
say one
immortality.
Immortality. That's
Immortality.
Can I just briefly say one thing, which is you missed out. Vampire Survivors is no longer the best $3 you'll ever spend. It's now the best $5 you'll ever spend. Okay, Citizen Sleeper, thank you. Indulge.
Yeah, okay, so then I don't know what Citizen Sleeper is.
Citizen Sleeper is it's structured like a modern RPG. There's a lot of like modern role-playing games where it's like you
Is this the
roll
thing
dice.
Did I download this like 3 months ago and then never
Maybe
actually
it was
started
on
playing
Game
it?
Pass, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
it's like
I do know what game you're talking about.
it was like a
Brisky.
resource management RPG where you roll dice to see if you get like instead of getting like deep into like stats and things, it's just like
Complete
a
success, partial
A
success.
6 is a guaranteed success. A 4 and a 5 is either a neutral or success, and then like 3s and 4s are like a small percentage chance of failing, succeeding, or getting a neutral outcome. And
Stream this once? This looks familiar.
I've talked about it. I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah.
it. on stream.
I've been
I like it a lot.
putting it for quite a while, but it's just there's a lot of
Yeah, I haven't queued up.
It's-
I haven't gotten-
mechanically it's pretty simple and it's a lot of writing. You are like this like it is a whatever.
You're an artificial body with a real person's
where
consciousness in
you're-
it.
Yeah, people can like contract their consciousnesses to work for big companies, and then they like put your body in stasis and then put part of your consciousness into a robotic sleeve, and then like you work for a certain amount of time in the sleeve, but your character has escaped from that sort of purgatory by putting themselves in a shipping container, and then you end up on this like broken down old
Space colony.
station. Yeah, it's almost like a Halo ring. It's like a thing that like a company had built a long time ago, and then the company went belly up, and then there was like a violent uprising, and some people had taken over the colony, and now it's like whatever. It's a really good setting, and then you're also like you're like part of your resources. In order to maintain the sleeve, you can't just eat food. You also need this special
Why do you
stuff.
keep calling it a sleeve?
Because there's a book called Altered Carbon by a
I was
writer
gonna
named
say,
Richard
are
K.
you-
Morgan.
Are you
Where-
referencing that?
Yes, because I mean they fucking just
Yeah.
stole that whole concept from that book. So
Yeah.
in that game, the main character is a guy that he's like an assassin or like a detective, and he like bounces from body to body, and they are called sleeves in that. So
I see.
Yeah, I started watching that. Was that a Netflix show?
Amazon.
yeah, I think that guy turned out to
no,
be
you're
No,
right.
it was
kinda-
Netflix. It was Netflix.
Netflix.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the guy who wrote that book did
He
turn out
says
to be
so.
kind of a douchebag.
I really like those books though. They're like pretty good hard-boiled detective novels disguised as science fiction.
I mean, Eric's gonna get mad when I say this, but Citizen Sleeper is basically half visual novel and a half resource management game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah.
And that's what really drew me to it, is that I like the resource management part. And
The
I thought
writing's
story
also
was
good.
pretty good too. No, I thought the story was
I
good too.
heard the rating.
I mean, it doesn't
writing is
really
good,
it doesn't really have a story. It's just like a bunch of
Characters you meet.
character side quests. Basically, it's all like it's like a
loyalty
TV
missions.
show or like Mass Effect 2 or something, where it's just like you meet a character and then you talk to them and you have some conversations, and then you can do some tasks for them, and then you can use that to. Usually, you'll get some resource for befriending them or doing the thing they want you to do. Or occasionally they'll betray you, or sometimes they're taking advantage of you, or whatever.
Or they'll betray you, but then they'll become your friend afterwards.
Yeah. Or sometimes you have to murder some fuckers.
Sometimes fuckers just
How many times?
It's been pretty good so far. Like a very good, diverse cast of people that are fun to talk to and have interesting backstories. Like there's like a cook that he like makes special mushroom dishes that'll fill up one of your resources. But you can time. There's a place, yeah, there's a place on the ship that's called the Greenway, which was like the hydroponic
Like,
like
the food
farm
production area, which
operation.
got totally
Yeah.
overgrown.
Yeah, and you can go there and you can either forage for mushrooms or you can like make a place where you can grow your own mushrooms, but you can give him some mushrooms to like make friends with him, and then he tells you his story, which is that like the company he worked for in his high school, which they had these recruitment videos where they were showing these people with these like giant bionic arms that were like punching things and breaking debris apart, and they used that to lure all these kids in and gave them these operations where they like drilled into the bones on their arm and stuff. And then it turned out that most of the machines were like didn't function properly, so like all the kids that did that like ended up with like having their arms ripped off or having their bones and muscles like torn apart. And it's just like, great, this is a great story, great dystopian sci-fi bullshit. And then they were like, oh, these don't work, so we're gonna close this program down. I don't know, here's some painkillers, good luck. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot of good characters.
This is a fun area that I'm in right now, by the way. Got a giant super bug that flies
A big
across the
bug.
screen every once in a while.
Yeah. Get that
Good
bug.
area.
If you defeat the bug, you get some queen jelly and get some bonus health.
I think you can defeat the bug.
Oh, that's a sprinting.
Anyway, I like Citizen Sleeper a lot. For the most part. My only problem is that I got too good at the resource management, and I felt like it kind of undermined some of the gameplay stuff.
Yeah, I kind
The
of
story stuff, I mean.
I'm at the same place. That
Boy, let me
I'm at
just
that same
stretch
place.
my
Like,
arms
there's-
out here. I'm
it's
too
like
good.
some of them, I think it's designed to be that way because they want you to see most of the story stuff, I think. But also, then there's a certain point where it just feels like, then why am I even bothering to do these resource management
is it there
tasks?
if it's
Like, I don't even
free?
want to click on these things because, yeah, there's just no point. But still, the writing is good enough. The art is really nice. The soundtrack is great.
Yeah, so it's all static art. The soundtrack is good. Yeah.
Yes, the soundtrack's very good.
I feel like we're having like a weird cyberpunk moment where like this
We
is
have been for like the last 5 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah, exactly.
ongoing.
This isn't really cyberpunk. This is more like, just like I said, dystopian.
I would describe it as
sci-fi.
cyberpunk. You live inside a robot body owned by a corporation.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Sounds pretty cyberpunk to
It
me.
sounds pretty cyber. Like it's maybe not as cyberpunk as let's say Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, but it's not.
However,
Yeah, I don't know.
like you just told me that a corporation like canceled the program that was like ripping apart people's bodies, and they were like, whatever, kid, have some painkillers. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like appropriately cyberpunk dystopian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's no real punks, you know.
Yeah. That's
Kinda,
yeah.
I haven't
It
met
sounds
like
like
a. I haven't met like a cool skateboarder that, you know,
No,
or like
all-
there's no.
all novels by William Gibson include at least one kickflip. So
Yeah, exactly.
you
Right.
know,
I was thinking more. I was thinking more Snow Crash, but yeah.
I'm about to play it.
all novels by Neil Stevenson also include at least one. Like,
I mean,
The-
I've
you
read
mean
several
Spoon to
Neil
Figgy.
Stevenson novels, and it's not entirely inaccurate.
yeah. Why hasn't
Let
someone
me
made a
tell
Snow
you about
Crash
the
video game?
Baroque cycle. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean,
am
Benjamin
surprised
Franklin
that
did do that fakey off of Let Me Know.
it's actually the more surprising thing is that there hasn't been a Snow Crash TV show announced as a development for something. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean, given that like the
all those super
metaverse
rich people
is-
that own what, like, it's impossible to believe that the people that run like Amazon or Netflix or whatever have read and love Snow Crash. It seems very or misinterpreted Snow Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. His name is literally hero protagonist.
Yeah.
Ah.
Figure out
my
who's
first-
the
They
good
just
guy and
can't
who's the
figure
bad
out.
guy.
They don't have the technology to do the vagina dentata yet. So.
Right. Although Metaverse comes from Snow Crash, right?
Yeah.
So
it
So
leaped
they
over
really did
adaptation
misinterpret the-
into
yeah.
parody.
Well, I mean, the metaverse in Snow Crash is pretty dope, but
Hey, beat the boss.
Then,
Good
like,
job.
Grub Knight.
nice.
That was my first time fighting that boss.
You
Can
defeated
you,
Chef Grub
is
Knight.
there- can you push pause mid run if you want, or do you have to finish?
I don't think that I can stop it and pick it up again later. The runs aren't super long. I'm actually entering the last area now. Also, I have very little health, so I'm probably just
That
gonna
is
die.
still a little frustrating though, right? Like I had to download a mod for fucking Risk of Rain to save my progress. Like that's you. I feel like they should all just have a quick save, right? Like that.
I
that
agree
doesn't
with you
feel
100%.
Reasonable to me, you know.
But in the end, I just died. So I'm actually
Oh.
going to be calling the stream
Sure
here.
did.
So sorry, you didn't get to see much of Drill Knight's castle. There are some pretty intense environmental effects sometimes in that place, but
We saw you beat Jeff Grub Knight, so
I sure did. So I'm going to stop for now. This game's great, but also I need to go to bed. So play this game and all the other ones we talked about, except if they're by people you don't like, or you think the value proposition is bad, or you don't want to unlock all the characters.
or some other reason.
But play Hollow Knight.
Oh, absolutely.
yes, definitely play Hollow Knight.
Buy Hollow Knight on multiple systems and play it multiple times.
You guys remember 2017?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
What a fucking ridiculous year for video games that was.
Off the
Anyways.
chain. And we are off the stick. Good night,
Oh
everyone.
no. Bye.
Ah.
Bye.